to Asia. It's interesting because I know that these trips draw a lot of attention and they're contentious, and some people don't think you should go. I'm going to say something that might actually be controversial. You need to go more. You need to take more people. People from the mayor's staff, people from the state, people from the federal government, people from our universities. And I come to this conclusion because we went to Asia to see technology we could not see here. And that ought to offend us in some respects. It ought to offend us that we don't have the capacity to look at this in a meaningful way here, not just here in America, but here in Miami-Dade County. We went to Japan and China to see what we couldn't see here, to do something that they start doing in the 70s and the 80s. It was a telling moment when, through their translator, they said, we built this line and there was no one here. And now look. It was a province or a city of greater than the population of Miami-Dade County. They had the foresight to invest in their infrastructure with the understanding that it's going to work out. We get caught up in these very, very, very specific and very political arguments. There's some basic things that we know we have to address. We have to address infrastructure. We've been talking a lot about housing. You want to talk about housing? Talk about transit. Talk about people being able to work on the beach and live in Hialeah and take a train. Work in Homestead and live in Miami Gardens and take a train. This is not that complicated. We are overcomplicating it. We didn't just see their technology. We saw the faith they had in their private sector and their people and their developers. We saw them being willing to invest in ideas and imagination and innovation. We brought that back too. We didn't just bring back slides. We've got to do better. You need to take more people. The flight was far too long. It was far too long. But even considering that, I don't know how we do it, through a participation fee, or people got to pay for their own cities, or we need to study it until we can emulate it and then beat them. We can be better. We're not even trying right now. We're not trying, and our mindset won't let us try. You know, the executive director touched on something that was important. We have an opportunity with the North Corridor to treat transportation like it's a region and not like it's a section of a county or just a county. Because the reality of our situation is that people live in Broward and go to Dade and live in Dade and go to Broward. That's the reality of our situation. We have an opportunity with the decisions that we make and our thoughtfulness and our deliberations to actually regionalize transportation opportunities in South Florida. It is my sincerest of hopes that we don't miss out on that. I appreciated leading the delegation there. Thank you all thank Commissioner Jordan and the Executive Director for making me go. But I don't like to fly, but they were so right. They were so right. We needed to see this. Look, I got down on the tracks and pushed a maglev train. So when you say it levitates on magnets, I got down and I'm pushing it. We can't go to FIU or University of Miami and see that technology. We ought to be able to. So the next time we go, we take their engineering schools. We ought to be able to do that. The next time we go, we take developers so they understand how they can actually truly effectuate the benefits of transit-oriented development. My comments are in support of the North Line and the technologies. I was awed by some of the technologies. But more, we have to be more curious, and our curiosity has to be aggressive. This is not a time for lazy minds. And the status quo just won't do. I appreciate you all. Commissioner Jordan.